you may notice something different about this video, if you're new around here, and it's that it's not a reaction video. This time, I'm just going to be doing what I usually do, talking, playing a game while I talk, the usual kind of thing that you're supposed to do when you make a YouTube channel. All this reaction business has gotten in my head. I'm reacting all the time now? No, never again. But yes, again, there are things that people have requested me to watch, and I will watch them. But first, I want to do this. Have you guys ever played Dungeons and Dragons? D&D, if you'll put it? I have. I've played it I fucking love D&D. It's one of my favorite pastimes. Not even pastimes, because it's not really a pastime. It sure does pass a lot of time, but you can't do it without a bunch of other people, so I guess you could call it a hobby, maybe? I don't know. There's a lot of stuff you could call it D&D, but something you can always call it is fun. Now, I want to discuss the first time I ever got to play a D&D campaign that went on for more than one fucking session, because I was stuck as the DM for fucking ever before I got to play a campaign that actually went on for more than one session, where they would do a session and then they just fucking give up, right? I would commit. that's how I am. Now, I'm going to quickly explain what was up in this campaign before I actually talk about what happened in it. First things first, classes, races, all that stuff. Me and my friends, we never turn anything down at the table. So if you come in with some fuck shit, like one of my friends played a horse in this campaign, we'll just let you fly, bro. You can be that horse. You can be that horse, man. The player races are limited to nothing. I was a fairy, personally. And then when it came to classes, sometimes we like to use vanilla classes, but sometimes we like to venture out. We go to this site called D&D Homebrew, which is a bunch of homebrew subclasses, classes, races, all kinds of stuff that's just made over there. A lot of them are stuff that already exists, like in other works of fiction, which is a class that I played is something that already existed in another work of fiction. It was a class based on Meliodas from the anime/manga Seven Deadly Sins. Now, I've never watched Seven Deadly Sins, but this class fucking spoke to me, bro, because this is the first time I was gonna get to really be a player, and I was like, I really want to fucking come in with some bullshit. One of my friends played a Quincy from Bleach, and since there was no other Quincy's in this world, because obviously there wasn't, they were playing the Almighty, which was a subclass for Quincy. You got to pick like a Shrift as a subclass. Let me just explain to you why this class stood out to me so much. One, it was a 1d12 hit die for one, and two, it got its own natural healing. Like second wind type natural healing. But you got it at level 1. And two, the number of times you could use it per long rest is equal to double your constitution modifier. So you could use it a lot more times a day than a second wind, per se. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, that's good. And it goes up with your level. I think second wind does that too, I'm assuming, all the way up to 3d10 at level 18. And that's just immaculate, right? 30 heals that you get naturally that you can use multiple times per day. It's just really good. You also got Unarmored Defense, which makes your armor class 10 plus con plus strength mods. And yeah, this 10 plus con plus strength mods means that this class can actually have Dex as a lower stat and not lose much from it. I know it loses out on some initiative, but it's still fine in armor. Usually if you don't take Dex, your armor is just going to be fucking terrible. You can also still use a shield and gain this Unarmored Defense, which I did. And man, my AC was high as balls. I just want to say, bro, it was high as balls, bro. Holy shit. Obviously, because it's Meliodas, you get a full counter, and the full counter had a lot of things going on with it. It allowed you to reduce damage from spells by your healing die, plus your level, plus your con modifier, plus your strength modifier. And if it reduces the damage to 0, you send it back at the attacker and then multiply the damage that would have happened. Well, not would have happened, because it's not that. When you send it back to the attacker, the DM re-rolls the damage and then multiplies that damage by 2, and the attacker gets hit by that. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's not even that much. That's because the starting natural healing is only a d6, right? So it'd be what, like a D6 plus 4 plus your modifiers. It's not even that much. You probably couldn't even deflect a good firebolt with that. You know what I mean? Don't worry, bro. It gets bad quick. But yeah, there was... Oh, another reason that I picked it is because of Hellblaze, and it just lets you put fire that does 2d8 damage on your weapon. And can also make immortal things mortal when you hit them with it. It's really fucking cool. All of the stuff about the class really just made me think like, wow, this is a really, really awesome class that I really want to play. So I played it. Right, we can get into the character's backstory now. There was a whole isekai angle with this thing, and every player kind of did it a different way. The Lyra, the one who played the Quincida, decided to kind of go like a full isekai angle and had it be so that their character wasn't actually, you know, the person that they were. They got isekai'd into somebody else's body or something. That's how they had the angle. For Lucas, the guy who played the horse, that was also the angle they went with for the isekai thing. For Miggy, he was like his character was like an accidental interdimensional traveler or something, if I'm remembering correctly, because when the campaign started, he was like between dimensions in some kind of weird darkness area. It was weird. Vinny, another one of my friends who was in this campaign, it's got a lot of players in this campaign, he decided he wanted to play a Trans-fucking-former. So he played a Transformer. There was no isekai angle with Vinny. He was just a Transformer. I mean, his thing was that he like crash landed onto the Earth eons ago. So I guess you could say it's like a time isekai, you know? And for mine, I didn't use the angle at all either, if I'm being honest with you. It was more like this character already existed, and then like in a mini isekai, he kind of got memories implanted in his brain of like real modern world things, like modern warfare and the such, and you know, modern tragedies, fucking the toils, desperation. It really builds into who he is. Don't worry about it. But it was just a fun angle to write with. So when it comes to my character's backstory, right? His name is Contaburo, which is a play on Not Digger, yes, because I've had this name since fucking like middle school. I've been using this name for so long, dog. It has been a long time since I've used anything that's not Digger, bro. Basically, Kant's whole little backstory is that he was a fairy in this forest with all kinds of fairies and shit. And you know, usually when people come in or pass by in the forest, they like bless them and stuff like that. You know, it's a very nice place. But after his 100th year of living, he came into contact with some humans that were, you know, they were a little stronger. They had weapons and the such, and he was like, wow, these people are very cool. These people are so awesome. So he then ventured forth outside of the forest and saw a nearby town that was ravaged with crime and violence and all sorts of horrible things. And he continued to travel and continued to see more war and violence and crime and all that shit. And this isn't a Zamasu story. When he saw this, he was not appalled by it. He was rather impressed, to be honest with you. He said, wow, these people are very efficient with the use of this violence. You know what I mean? So when he came back, he was like, guys, we are so fucked. He told all of his brethren, he said to them, if they come over here with the shit they got, we're done for. We are so cooked. They didn't listen to him. They didn't listen to him. They were like, nah, man, nah, we're gonna be fine, right? One person did listen to him, his brother. However, in the lore of this universe, all the fairies are not, they're all birthed from like magic from a god or something. They're not actually brothers. It's more just a relation that they had that makes them brothers rather than a blood relation. You know what I mean? So anyway, he tells his brother, I'm glad you're listening to me, man. We need weapons. So, you know, a couple years pass by. He starts having these crazy dreams about the stuff that I just talked about, modern warfare and the stuff like that. And that's when he gets the class, basically. That's when he gets all the fire powers and the healing and all that shit. It's when the isekai thing happens, basically. And he's like, He goes, and the next people that come through the forest, he goes and fucking kills them and takes their weapons and shit. And he's like, okay, guys, we have weapons. We can start to, militarize a little bit. Maybe get some commerce going. make a name for ourselves. Make sure we're nice and defended. And they were like, dude, you just killed those people. What the fuck is wrong with you? And he's like, man, they just won't listen. So similar to the way that 9/11 made airport security tighter, he decided he would make the security of his town tighter by 9/11ing it. So he just fucking burned the town to the ground, killed a bunch of people. His own brethren that he trained in weapons to fight against, and well, not to fight against him, to fight with him, fought against him. Of course he did. He was just protecting his home. He got slimed the fuck out. And when you make a fairy, there's like a dice table for like a special like feature that you have. When I rolled it for my character, I got the transparent unicorn horn type thing, and I rolled it for the brother character. He got bird wings, so I was like, oh, easy licks. I said in the backstory that he cut off his wings and made them into like a coat, like he's fucking Doflamingo. So after he did all that, he left the burning down forest and went to the town nearby that he found was overrun with crime and all that shit, because it was actually under criminal rule. It was under control of a criminal organization. So he stepped in and he killed them all. And the town said that he was a hero, and he was so happy with it. He was so happy with that. The town was called Vodazite. That's what I called it in the backstory. That was the starting point of my character in the campaign. I think we started the campaign around level 5, so I think this was feasible to have been a good backstory for the character. It's not like I made this whole big thing of lore for a level 1 character. We started at a good enough level where this could be an actual backstory for a character and still make sense at his current power level. Because basically all he did was massacre a bunch of people that barely knew how to fight, or didn't know how to fight at all, and then went and killed a bunch of criminals. So, he doesn't need to be very powerful, you know what I'm saying? So, when the campaign had started, right, all of our characters got their little introductions, Lyra's character woke up as a whole new person. It was a brand new person. It's a brand new person. Feel like a brand new person. Yeah. So they woke up, they were a brand new person, and they were confused and all that stuff. They went outside, all that kind of business. Miggy's, he had the whole interdimensional travel thing. The horse, the horse started on a farm and convinced the other animals to kill the person in charge of the farm, and ran away from the farm, which was a really funny interaction for the start of the campaign. That was quite humorous. And last but not least was the Transformer. Now the Transformer had a very fun introduction. Basically, the whole thing with him crash landing eons ago. When he crash landed eons ago, people found him, right? And they thought he was like a god or something, like a sleeping god, or maybe the husk of a god or something. So they went and they took him and they like put him in like a place of worship. I guess you could just call it a church, And they like were praying to him and shit. But when he woke up, he killed them all. Because he's a giant fucking evil-ass robot. Right? I'm pretty sure he was a Decepticon. So eventually all these characters somehow found their way to my town. I think the church, the reason most of them were there was because one, the Quinzida lived in the town. Miggy was just traveling and he made his way over there. Vinny, the Transformer, was also in the town. The church was in the town that I was in. And the horse was also just found their way over there wandering. As for me, since it was my town, I was already there, but for a little bit of something else to make it a reason for all the characters to gather. Before the campaign started, Miggy had proposed a character before. It was like a cultivation class that he found online, but it was even more broken than the class that I wanted to play. So it was denied, but we didn't like drop the character that he made. We decided the character that he made would be getting executed in the middle of town by my character, and that would be how like the party was able to come all together in the same spot because of the commotion in the middle of town, right? And also by the creation and canonization of this cultivation character, we canonized like the fucking Jade City or whatever, some fucking random cultivation location that was in his backstory. So that existed in the campaign now. After everybody like convened and found themselves in town, we conversed for a while. Definitely had to convince the Decepticon that going with us was the right thing to do. Because he's a giant fucking robot. You definitely have to convince that guy. He's not gonna follow you easy peasy, right? So, a little bit conversation happens. All the characters manage to decide that they'd be better off working together on things. I can't remember the order of events for this. I don't know what happened first. It was either we went to my character's tent, is just a big ass tent that he lived in the town instead of like a house or something. They went to his tent and he explained to them his goals, which there was a city, to I think it was the northwest or something, called Ashvalen, and it was like a port town, and he was like, I'm gonna go over there and take over this port town. My character's main goal was to amass a lot of land, like take over and amass land in the area, so that by the time he declared independence as the lord of this land, he would have enough forces to battle, or maybe even just scare the greater country that he was in into not trying to fight him, or maybe just even being able to win a fight against them and take their land. You know what I mean? He's an expansionist. He's a military expansionist. That was his whole thing. So it was either that first, I explained those goals to them, or I do remember, and this was definitely supposed to be the main quest of the campaign. In the middle of town, there was like this guy, he was like a panda man, right? And he was walking by with like a dresser or a box or something, and there was a little bit of hair hanging out of it. That's unusual. There's not usually hair hanging out of boxes or dressers and shit. So of course the party approached him, and I talked to him. I said to him, what are you carrying in there? You don't usually see hair hanging out of boxes. What do you have? Furred goods? Children? It was the second option. We knocked him out, looked in the bag. There was the dresser or box or whatever. There was a kid in there. We killed the guy. We took the kid out, right? So after we took the kid out, you could obviously assume, oh yeah, we're gonna wait till the kid wakes up and we're gonna, talk to them, see what this main story is about the DM is brewing here, because that's what I would have did, right? That's what I would have did. I felt for him as a DM when this next thing happened. I decided that since I'm also small, I'm not gonna be carrying this kid. I decided I would toss the kid over to the horse, Lucas. You know what Lucas fucking did? Instead of just being like, oh yeah, man, I catch the kid or something, I put it on my back, some shit like that. No, he goes to make a fucking bite attack, crits the child, and kills it instantly. And then he eats it. Can you fucking imagine, bro? Can you really sit there and imagine that with me? What the fuck? I cannot imagine how Adon felt about that. Although I can, because these people, I've DM'd for them before, all of them. And they are fiends. Every single last one of them. Including Adon, to be honest with you. He should have expected it. So, since that avenue was out of the water, we just went with my thing. We traveled to that one town. Most of the party could fly, because the Transformer, his transformation was to like a young bronze dragon or something. So the two party members that couldn't fly, Miggy and Lucas, rode on the dragon, while the rest of us that could fly, which is me and the dragon itself, aka the Transformer, and Lyra's Quincy character, just flew, because we could fly. We made it to the town. We flew over the border. I think somebody actually went and distracted the border guard while the others of us flew over, and then they went away and just flew over themselves. I'm pretty sure it was the Quincy. So once we were in town, a lot of people say things like, oh, murder hobos bring the whole mood of the session or the campaign or the party down. That's because your murder hobos aren't funny. Okay? If your murder hobos were funny, that wouldn't be the case. Because a lot of these fucking party members are murder hobos in this campaign, man. Holy shit. They went to they went to a place. The joke was it was a Dave's Hot Chicken, but it was a fried chicken place in the fucking village. Not a village, it's a city, in the port city. And all the people in the port city are fish people, right? So they went to a fucking fried chicken place and they got fried chicken, and we discussed for like a minute how much HP does a regular civilian have. It's 4. And then we discussed how much damage you could do by throwing something as an improvised weapon. It's either 1d4 or 1d6 plus strength. I can't really remember which one it is, but those are the answers. You can fucking instantly kill civilians by throwing pieces of fried chicken at them. So needless to say, it was a rather funny excursion. Not really an excursion, they just fucking killed people with fried chicken at them. Well, they were doing that. I went to meet the person in charge of the town, the mayor, if you will. And I discussed with him, I told him, nobody saw me come in to the town, nobody saw me come in to your office, and nobody's going to see me leave. I'm confident in my ability to win an election against you when it comes re-election time, because I had decent charisma, right? I had a decent charisma stat, and winning an election is really just promising things to the people that you're never going to fulfill, that sound beneficial to them, and then being more popular than the other candidate. At least that's how it works in the US of A. Oh boy, Trump. Anyway, I was confident in my ability to win the election, but that would take a lot more time than I had, so I was thinking about assassinating him and usurping his rule. Although that's not how mayors work, so it was a bit of a bust. But I still threatened him anyway and left. I knew leaving would give him time to call guards or something and be like, oh yeah, set up some guards here so that I don't get fucking slimed out, you know what I'm saying? But he never did that. When it came to the fried chicken throwing party, they ended up stopping after a little while, and were able to make enough like deceptions against people that weren't over there who saw the corpses that they weren't the ones who did it. Eventually they were approached by a dolphin woman, because all the people here are sea creatures, not just fish, I guess. And she was like, oh, can you find my son, my child, or whatever the fuck it was? And I was like, that's probably the kid we murdered. That's not great. But, you know, they took it in stride anyway, and I think it was me and the Transformer who went underwater, or I think all of us went underwater. I hope all of us went underwater. I can't really remember. I think the Quincy was there. Most or all of us went underwater. There was these barracudas who were Mexican for some reason, probably because the DM himself was Mexican, but he really put the accent on thick with these barracudas. And they were like, they had the clownfish kid, right? So we killed them because they were evil and they were trafficking the clownfish child. And we asked the clownfish child where they were taking him, and he pointed us to an underwater lair, and he told us it was Puff Daddy's. Fucking Puff Daddy. So I was thinking to myself, there's no way. And so I had to ask Adon, there's no way all the people here are fish just so you can make the joke that the pufferfish's name, who is Diddy, is Puff Daddy. And he said that was the reason, so I guess that was the reason. Grand. So we went into Diddy's lair. What the fuck? We went into Diddy's lair, and at the time of the campaign when we went into Diddy's lair, a new player, Cole, had joined. And his character introduction was that he was tied up in Diddy's lair with a bunch of halflings. So we made a daring escape attempt. We used vents or something. We tried to fight Diddy, but he was actually quite powerful, especially for us only being like level 5 or 6. I don't think we did much fighting at the time. I don't think we had any level up, so we were still the same level. So he was quite strong. But we kind of like flooded the place to escape. There was some weird shit in his, there was like maybe some, I forgot what it was. I know there was some kind of weird jewelry, I think. Was that? It was like a necklace, I'm pretty sure, that granted protection against something. And the something was coming up real quick. The something that was coming up was these weird fucking abyssal like tentacles coming from the depths as we tried to swim up. Most of us got away, and some of us were immune due to one of us was immune due to the necklace. But it did get a halfling, and it was We had to make like dex checks or something to escape, or saves, I can't remember, but we escaped. One of the halflings didn't, he got fucking murdered. And a lot of the halflings died because they got killed by Diddy in the fight. It was a bad day to be a short person. Fuck, I was a short person. Anyway, after we got out of that, we were like, oh yeah, we didn't find the kid. And the kid's probably dead. In fact, it was probably the child that we murdered. Did we tell the mom? Not at all. We were horrible people. So after doing that, I came to the conclusion that Diddy's location was so close to the mayor, as well as so easily findable. As well as, I think I asked questions and they were somehow connected in some way. So basically, the mayor is in league with Diddy, right? So before I even confronted him about it, we told everyone. We told everyone. I had to make, I think, a persuasion. We told everybody, the whole town, right? We yelled at the top of our lungs from atop a tower or some shit. And then we went to fight the mayor. So we were fighting the mayor, right? And he deadass started fucking our shit up. He was way too strong for the level we were at the time. He boomed my whole fucking, like, the whole back, bro, the whole back. He boomed the Transformer, he boomed the Quincy, he boomed Miggy, he boomed Cole. He was just going crazy. At the end, near the end of the fight, when he was on very little HP, it was just me and the horse. It was just me and Lucas. And then he opened a portal to fucking hell and tried to run away. So needless to say, me and Lucas got on his ass. Jumped through the portal to hell, killed him in hell. Diddy was there. He has like a whole mansion in hell for some reason. It's Diddy, so I guess it makes sense. I think this was around the time when the thing about the underground tunnels under his mansion came out, so that's probably why this was made. Anyway, I'm definitely missing a lot of details, but somehow Miggy was captured by Diddy, and he was put in his dungeon just like Cole was before. So we had to save Miggy from the Diddy dungeons. We did, and when it comes to the alignment of these characters, they're all evil. Every single one of these characters, despite the fact that you could say that we're doing good things with what we're fighting, we're doing good things for bad reasons. I would say my character was a more lawful evil, and all the other characters were more chaotic evils, just from murdering all those people in a fucking chicken spot for no fucking reason. And Miggy's character was the only character whose alignment did not end with evil. He was definitely a good alignment. However, that corruption arc was a fucking corruption avalanche, because the only people he was meeting that would be doing anything good for him and helping him in any way, shape, or form was all of us horrible, evil fucks. So, yeah, of course, at the end of the day, what are you going to do when the only people who help you are horrible and evil? Well, you're going to have to go along with them. So we save Miggy, we fight Diddy, we kill him in a comical way. He makes like an escape route, but it stays open for like 3 turns. So he used it, and I just followed him. And to kill Diddy, do I even want to tell this part? I killed him as he lived, bro. I grinded up against his backside and then stabbed him. Anyway, we escaped hell, and it landed us in I think the Jade City. There was a guy there, he looked like Adam Sandler, that was the whole joke. Who had a strong teleportation spell, basically, where he could teleport you to somewhere that you remember. He teleported us back to the location, fucking Ashevalen or whatever. And we returned heroes because we killed Diddy and the evil corrupt mayor, right? We're good guys now. We're great guys. And I placed myself as ruler of the location in a very coup d'etat-like manner. Now that I was in charge of the place, things had to change. Obviously, we still had no idea what the fuck the DM wanted from us. I feel like we were the ones taking him on a wild ride instead of the other way around, which I guess happens pretty frequently. We were notified that a ship would be, it was either coming or leaving town by, I think it was the mayor's secretary, or there was like an underground railroad type thing for like freeing trafficked individuals and shit like that. I can't remember if it was those people, or if it was the mayor's secretary, the former mayor's secretary. The mayor died, but we were notified of the ship in some way, shape, or form. We were told it had a connection to the trafficking. We went on it. We couldn't find anything. We questioned the people. They wouldn't tell us anything. Lyra killed one of them, and the other one was like, "Dad, Dad, no, Dad!" And so she killed that one too. And yeah, oh fuck. So she killed that one too, and then we fucked off. When it got to the port, it was notified that this was the vessel that was carrying the participants for the Special Olympics, which was quite the shocker. We were also notified that the kid that we killed in the first session was a Special Olympics swimmer, so they're dead. They're also possibly not a child, which I guess +1 for us, you know? The guy that came off the boat, I was like, he's probably going to be suspicious of us. So I took him over to the side, and in a dark alley, I chatted him up, took him over to a dark alley, killed him in the alley, had the horse eat him. Lucas's whole bit as the horse was that he just fucking ate people. Whenever we killed somebody, Lucas would just go and eat them. What the fuck? It was a really awful bit. There was a point in time where somebody was in the hospital, or there was something to do with a hospital. And he went to a hospital, and he went into a room that had a bunch of babies in it, right? And I was like, Lucas, are you really about to go and have this horse eat babies? No, he wasn't. Instead of eating the babies, he fucking shit in the room with all the babies. He had the horse shit in the room with all the babies in it. Oh my fucking god, man. This is the stupidest shit ever. Right? So eventually, we're like, somewhere or another, some shit happens. We find a scroll that gives me the lore about the fairies and all that shit. We also somehow find a way to convene with gods or something. There was one god that we found a way to conversate with, and in exchange for worldly pleasures such as food and furniture, constantly giving him shit like that, he would give us one wish, and I wish to make the whole group exponentially stronger. What does exponentially stronger mean? Well, it put us to level 15 from like level 6. So, that exponentially stronger. I can't remember if he gave more wishes. I can't remember if he gave one wish to each party member. I think he did, because somehow Lyra, the Quincy, managed to make half of the human population into Quincy's. It was either through a wish or through the spreading of her blood as the Almighty, but I don't remember which way it happened. As the final session was coming about, not final because the story was ending, but final because eventually Adana would just stop DMing, we decided that we would go to the capital of the country that I was trying to take over or bitch into giving me land and meet its king. So we went disguised, presenting Lyra as the the ruler of all Quincy's, which she was in this scenario. She was, so it wasn't false. But we were also presenting ourselves as like her royal guard or whatever to meet with the king. And we did. We had a productive discussion, and we came to the conclusion that the king's sword was controlling him. Now, that didn't matter to us in any real way, shape, or form, because what we wanted to do was overthrow him, so the fact that he was being controlled by his sword meant nothing to us. That just meant that he was a weakling that we could topple. We went back, we prepared, we started training a whole Quincy army, and we set the meeting location as somewhere between the two borders of our land. And I was planning in like an ambush, and then it ended. And then it fucking ended. And I was like, man, that is so sad. I wish I would have been able to pull that ambush off. You never get what you want with these kinds of things, man. I love D&D, but I hate that I have to rely on people who are very unreliable with time to show up and do these things with me. Because it's fun for everyone. It's fun for everyone, but these people are not good with managing time. Even when they don't have anything going on, they're not good at managing time. Oh, fuck. There was one other campaign that, despite it only lasting for one session, I actually wanted to talk about real quick because it was a very fun one for the one session that it was, and it was a space opera campaign where our party consisted of me, the heavy metal rock star monkey person. Yes, heavy metal rock star monkey person, space monkey. A super duper racist space cowboy who was just racist to like all aliens. I don't even know how he was on the team. A beetle man and a person who was a cloud. So it was a pretty funny group. Let me read you his backstory real quick because it's some of my finest work, to be honest with you. So the character's name is Dick McFuckle McCrumbo Penis Cockman. It just shows you the maturity I was at when I made this character. Well, let me read you his backstory, okay? Born to a long line of noble space monkey people, Richard Michael McCraster Pennyworth Cork Mars. Yeah, I know. Was an intelligent and respectable young man until his younger sister pushed him off the top floor room balcony in an argument about who would succeed the family fortune. Richard survived this fall, but was forever changed. Dick was the first name the young man heard when he awoke. This became the name he would know himself as for the rest of his life. The rest of the names came later when he went on a journey to relearn language. His family spent many years trying to bring him back to normal. In that time, he learned to play the guitar, scream as loud and raspy as fucking possible, write lyrics, and maybe drive? Not too sure on that one. His family decided it was a lost cause when they heard him screaming like a moron in his room in the middle of the night. His parents decided that he could leave at this point. He surely got enough re-education. He didn't. Years into his travels, he found this one guy who he thought was alright. His bullets added a nice percussion to the performance. They toured together for a few years with his weird gas vent thing, and a beetle guy who contributed a lot to the band. As you could probably guess from his backstory, he is a 7 in intelligence. He's a fucking moron. And it was very funny. It was kind of like a Rockstar space opera thing. It was great. And it only lasted one session. So sad. If you enjoyed this Yap Sesh and want to hear another Yap Sesh about maybe some of the campaigns I've DM'd, maybe a campaign I DM'd where a player was the big bad because just the character that he made was so completely incompatible with all the other characters that he was just like, fuck it, I'm the villain, right? And I provided him with things that could make him a functional main villain. It was a pretty funny campaign. There was some funny characters, and I would actually have access to all of the character sheets, backstories, and probably more memories of the campaign because I was the DM of that one instead of a player. I guess comment about it, like, sub, all that shit if you give a fuck, and I'm done here.